Before anything, we are animals. And as humans, we are a very social species. We can definitely survive alone, but we thrive together. Since the beginning of times, we organize ourselves in groups. And interesting enough, our brains are actually wired for us to seek companionship. The lack of people triggers the same primal alarms as the lack of food, water, or shelter. And yet, we've never been more alone. We live in big cities, in our little bubbles. It would be a safe assumption to say that we got better at socializing with all the social tools that we have nowadays, but we don't. We are alone, and loneliness actually became an epidemic in America. Rates have just gone up over the decades. And how bad it is? Pretty bad. Depending on the age group you look at, the prevalence rates can be as high as 70%. So put it in another way, 2/3 of this room often feel lonely. And even if you think that the problem doesn't concern you, you have a lot of friends, you're paying the price anyway, because loneliness became a public health issue. It costs money, it costs lives. There is a direct link between loneliness and depression. It also increases the risk of many health conditions, many diseases. There is actually a statistical correlation between the feeling of being lonely and an increased risk of dying. You can literally die from being alone. And how puzzling is that? If we do have a need to connect, and we do have the tools to connect, and we are not lacking people anywhere, so why are we alone? Truth is, we live in a competitive society. Since childhood, we are conditioned to use our communities for our personal gain and dispose of them when they are no longer needed. Everybody wants to be the strongest, the healthiest, the wealthiest. Even being kind became a competition. Philanthropists just compete to see who gives more. It's simply just not fun not to be cool. And competition itself, it's not a problem. Competition is actually there to bring the very best in us. And you can't blame someone for trying to reach their full potential. But the problem arises when the worth of the individuals of a community is defined by their accomplishments. And the idea of winning at all costs prevails. Right there, you divide your community into two groups, the winners and the losers. And at the end, everybody leaves. The weak, the ones that lag behind, will eventually leave the community that does not support them. And even though that might go against their natural instincts to seek companionship, they do that based on a very rational decision. Because remember, you're animals. And in the wild, if you're not welcome in the group makes it super clear. You're either hurt or killed. So our basic instinct of self-preservation is stronger than our desire to make or keep friends. And if you're lucky to be an outlier, a talented member of the group, eventually you leave the group as well, because your accomplishments will be capped by the extent of the support that you receive from your group. Of course, you're always going to be welcome in a bigger group, on a better one. But if you continue on that cycle of using and disposing of the communities that you're part of, the outcome will be the same. You can also be very lonely at the top. So there we stand, eternally conflicted between our desire to reach our full potential and our willingness to help others. So if you do focus on yourself, you might fly high, but alone. And if instead you focus on your group, you might end up with that nagging feeling on your mind that you didn't quite reach your full potential because you didn't focus on yourself enough. And what I'm trying to tell you is that you really don't need to choose. You actually need both. But how can we organize ourselves in the community in a way that both the community and the individual benefits from being together? And this is not a dream, this is not a plan, this is my reality. Competition is exactly where my experience comes from. I'm a martial arts teacher. I teach people how to fight. And to put things into perspective, just so you have an idea of how competitive it is, sports are already quite high on a competition scale. And fighting even stands out for a couple reasons. First, the outcome of a single match is a zero-sum game. For me to win, you have to lose. There's no other way. Second, I have an extra motivation to win, because losing hurts physically. Being slammed on the ground ain't fun. I end up with way more than just my ego bruised. And lastly, I'm alone. It is an individual sport. This picture was taken at the final of an international competition, and even though I had all my team there supporting me, as I stepped on the mats, I had no team to help me win or take the blame if I lost. So seemingly, there's no team play whatsoever. And here, of all places, we do collaborate. I'm fortunate enough to train a group of people, a very diverse group of people, that meet on a daily basis and help each other become better fighters. And what we do, the martial art we choose is called Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. It's also called the gentle art because we don't punch or kick. So in order to win, my opponent is either trying to choke me or break my arm. But we do it nicely. But here's the kick. How can I get better? There's a fundamental tool for me to improve, and it is my training partner. I can't read a book, I can't take an online course, watch YouTube videos. I can't even spend my time training just punching a bag. I need a live training partner to make me better. And I can only improve if the challenge that I face also increases. So yeah, I want to win, of course. Every round, I want to win. That's my need. I want to improve. But winning today is not enough. I'm looking way far ahead. I have bigger goals. So I want to beat you tomorrow, a better version of yourself. So at the end of every round, we sit, we chat, and I'm going to help you beat me better. I'm going to help you defend from my attacks, because then next time I try it, it will be harder. And that will be beneficial for me, for my improvement. That way, I fulfill my needs as an individual, but I also fulfill the needs of my community, because everybody has to improve together. The group does not depend on the altruistic ideals of a very few in order to grow. Nobody has a choice not to collaborate. So what about you? I trust that most of you are not fighters, so how can you apply any of that in a daily life, right? If I can get a diverse group of people that are literally trying to strangle one another every day to collaborate, I trust you can do it too. No excuse. What you need is one thing, that sense of belonging to a community that supports, but is also supported by its members. And sure, you can do it alone. But first, ain't fun. And second, the workload never gets any lighter. If you're a team of one, you're going to compete all the time. And you have no one to collaborate with. And it really doesn't take much for you to have a community. If you have one partner, you can already benefit from that feedback loop where you help your partner get better, and that help comes back to you tenfold. And you don't even need to seek communities to be part of. I trust you're already part of many communities. You have a family, right? The group that we have no choice to be part of. You're stuck together. That's your team. So instead of trying to win every discussion and competing with one another, it's going to be of your benefit if you help the members of your team, your family in this case, to be better. Even if you don't have a family, you got to live somewhere. So you have people around you all the time. So the idea of seeing the group that you're part of as a community, it's your choice. But sometimes you might feel discouraged of being so well-intentioned when you see members of the group you're part of not sharing the same ideas. And you shouldn't. Because remember, you're helping others for your own benefit because you want better people around you. So if you have someone in your community that it's not doing the same, it's their loss. The joke is on them. They're not tapping the potential of the group for their own benefit as much as they could. And at the end, you can't control that anyway. So focus on what you can do, which is your attitude, to be a positive influence on how members of the community should behave. And also, important thing to remember that you're not helping others just because it's the right thing to do. You're not collaborating just because it makes you look cool or it feels good. You're doing it because it's for your own benefit to be part of a better team. There's no point of being the best sailor in a sinking ship. So if you want to reach your true potential, you have to embrace your competition. When your goals get lofty, you're going to need a larger community to achieve them. Then you're going to find more reasons to collaborate and more people to collaborate with. If you're ambitious and your goal is truly large, like leaving a mark on this world, wouldn't it be cool to have every single person in this planet as part of your team? It would definitely make things a lot easier. And like it or not, we are in this together. So what I want is for you to put the pettiness aside and the everyday squabbles and raise the bar where you're competing for. Because competition is only healthy when it makes everyone better. There's no need to put anyone down in order to come first. Thank you.
Bruno Fernandes.